Hello again and welcome back to another tutorial I'm going to make today for those of you who want to get a scenery the fast way installed into XPlane. And we are currently flying here over San Diego, Quezon, and my plan is to get San Diego downtown in less than 10 minutes into the simulator. So just as a comparison, this is how it looks. It's not too bad. In the frame rates, 35 frame rates with about 80% scenery. So let's see what we can achieve. Okay, here we are again, back at the desktop. I've started already Blender and 7AX, let's get rid of all this and Blossom select. And as we are interested in San Diego, let's find San Diego. Here is San Diego and here is San Diego downtown. I'll show selection rectangle, and what do we need? Okay, let's go for this here. From here to about here. Like so, we get the baseball stadium here included and the harbor as well. So 1.8.2.2 kilometers. I mentioned in my previous tutorial that I do not recommend anything higher than 1.1 kilometers, but this is a fast build. So this time everything is a little bit different. And we are also going to import the data from Google at a lower resolution. So this will also allow us to choose larger areas. Copy. Back to Blender, paste, coordinates get updated, Google 3D tiles, and this is what I meant. So separate buildings this time, and we click on import. And now let's wait. This will take probably 1, maybe 2 minutes. So let's see. So 4:15, it's on my watch here. Let's see when we are in the simulator. I mentioned 10 minutes. Let's see if I can accomplish, if we can accomplish that. And here it is, the data from Google. Looks all right. It's a full square. Okay, but I definitely want to do a little bit of mesh adjustments here. So the water is something I definitely do not want in any of my sceneries. So this must be erased. But as I said, you can keep everything as it is. If you prefer not to touch anything here, maybe for whatever reason, you can completely skip this and move to the next step. X. And down here, a little bit of a cleanup. And this area around the stadium is not complete. Okay, that's it. A, M, merge by distance. Let's see if we can remove a small few vertices here, 64. That's a very small amount. What have we got in total? Our statistics for this object, 244,000 vertices and about 400,000 triangles. this is all right. You don't need to worry about performance if you just deal with this single object in your scenery. It's a complete different story. If you add now, let's say 4, 5, 6, 7 more of these, then we will definitely need to look into different topics here, like mesh optimization and stuff like that. But for now, you don't need to worry. So, next step, materials, mesh. As I said, all these materials are now part of this object. We cannot import this into XPlane. We need to build one single material from all these materials. And this is for what we have the mat combiner here. Generate material list, everything gets imported, automatic, pixel art, small textures, and size between the UV islands, say this time 2 pixels, and save atlas 2. Let's find the folder where we want to save this, create a new one, we call it case sun. Let's go into this, create another folder for the image and say create atlas. Now we need to wait. If you didn't follow my first tutorial, if you haven't watched it, and some of these things here are for you hard to understand, if you can't follow this, I recommend my tutorial number 1. I go more into detail there, explaining more of these steps here to get to the final results. So the material has been created. Let's see what we have. Let's hope we didn't go too far with the image. Resize. That's good. So entire downtown San Diego fits into a single 8K texture. So we can improve this, or so we need to go to the next step here, which is 8K. Okay. Back into 3D viewport, sorry, and increase the distance here a little bit. And let's check the material. So what we definitely don't want is here we don't need this, we don't need specular, we don't need sheen tint, clear coat, of course not, don't need it. And then the problem here with this area is that the lighting is not really good. You see all these shadows, so probably when this was created by Google, the lighting, the sun was coming from this side and throwing all the shadows towards this end. So but it is what it is right now. It's good enough. So let's go once again into the image editor and say image save as. Last time I forgot this, and we overwrite the atlas here, save image, 3D viewport. Now we need to save the project. We call it KSun. Save Blender. The reason to save it is not only to have it saved, but if you don't save it, you cannot export it via XPlane to Blender. There's a bug. Mentioned this also in my other tutorial. So that's saved. Go to scene, collections. We need to move now the tile into the collection. That's the collection we want to export. Scenery, we call it KSun. And type is scenery. And we say export. Let's see what we get. It's not here yet. There it is. Okay, another Explorer. XPlane custom scenery. We create now our scenery folder. Folder KSun. Now that's another one. KSun. Yeah. And we copy our object over here and our texture over here. Then we rename the texture text KSun. And now we need to edit the object to assign the texture to it. Need to wait until the data gets loaded here in the background. So text KSun, let's compare this. That's good. Save. And let's go into World Editor. There it is already. Open. Yeah, we ended up right away in the right area because I took a look previously already into this area, so I didn't need to search for it now. So local KSAR, need to wait until it gets loaded here into the editor. There is the object, that looks good already. So paste it, and yeah, again, we have this elevation problem, but never mind. Elevation mode, set RGL, and let's see, 50. For now, that's good that we can see what we need to do. Align it here with the terrain, and let's hope that it fits our XPlane terrain more or less. 30. You can see there is definitely a problem here with the Google terrain and the XPlane terrain. This does not match. You can see here this side is going slightly down and this area goes slightly up, but in XPlane it seems to be all flat. So yeah, the option you would have now is to cut the object into several chunks and then deal with each chunk and try to assign the elevation of it so that it matches better the terrain of XPlane. But it is what it is right now. We will see in a moment anyway what's going on in the simulator. So now we can draw a rectangle exclusion zone. This is mandatory. We need to go here. Exclusion zone 2 don't need. It was a mistake. So move this here, over here, this, and then objects, facades, drape polygons. If you want to add more exclusions, you can do so, but for me this is good enough. So I think this is it. File, save, file, export. Let's check our this folder. Texture pack, it's all there. That's good. So scenery packs ini, let's add this directly into our scenery packs. Save, and let's fire up XPlane. That took about, not 100% sure, what is it? Less than 15 minutes. So I was explaining here and there a little bit. So 15 minutes in the process now. That's it, actually. If I didn't make any other mistakes along the way, then probably we only need to deal with the elevation. So new flight, KSUN, on runway no. Let's do the approach, the 27 approach, yeah. Confirm, start. Now let's wait. I think it's time for coffee here. So getting there. It's finishing. Preloading done. Pause. Just want to get hold of some plugins here. Don't need this one. Don't want to activate this. No. This goes down here. So, and here we go. Let's see, frame rates here in the left bottom corner, about 35, 36 frames with 90% scenery. Speed this up a little bit. And that looks about right. Let me... So here we go. 15 minutes, fast build. Slightly lower resolution than the one which we created for our Hamburg. And I think this is good enough for an Kaysan 2.7 approach or a departure. Everything is at its right location. Photorealistic buildings. Got all the trees here from XPlane probably connected to the object here, top of it. I mean, you see here, this is what I also mentioned in my other tutorial, the trees, these really suck. So if you have the time and the passion, then I would really highly recommend to get rid of them. But if you don't care about this and you just want quickly some kind of scenery to improve its recognizability, or for whatever purpose, then this is definitely, I think, the best way. See, 15 minutes. Now imagine you would have to do this by hand, all of this. So the modeling is not even the hardest part. You need to get all the textures from where? They do not exist. You have to actually be there on site to all the photos, then UV unwrap all your objects, do the texturing, clean up the mesh. This will take ages. This will take months. This is impossible. And this definitely adds to the immersion, and when you can recognize certain areas and they are really the real thing. Yeah, AutoGen is all right. It has improved over the years, but it's still it feels and has to look like something from the early 2000s. Like, I mean, there has nothing changed since XPlane 8, more or less. And yeah, here you can see it pretty nice, the issue with the terrain. I'm also not really sure why the terrain looks, when you align it in World Editor, why it often doesn't match the real thing in XPlane. But you can see here the terrain which got imported together with the Google data, the mesh is different from the one we have here in XPlane. What you could do now is, I'm not aware about any LiDAR data for the US. There might be something, but nothing on in the size like Sony is providing for Europe. So Sony has a LiDAR data which he made available to the XPlane community. And what I figured out is when you use his LiDAR data for a certain area and then import the Google 3D data and place it on top, this very often is the same thing. So this is what you can try for certain areas when the mesh is really completely different from the one you have in XPlane. So yeah, as I mentioned, this is something for sure not for everybody. Some people will hate this. Some people will complain about this. Maybe somebody else will have good reasons not to install something like this, not to have this. Well, it's not frame rates. Helicopter pilots for sure who are flying low and also need to interact with the objects, with the scenery, they will probably they can't use this. I understand that fully. But for IFR pilots, even for VFR pilots who are training certain procedures and are looking for some landmarks, this really can help to identify and to recognize these areas better. And let's see how it looks from ground level. Yeah. I mean, this is pretty good for 15 minutes job. And everything what comes next is now something you can decide for yourself. You can go now and do some more texture editing inside Blender with the node editor, or you can do this directly in GIMP, try to adjust the colors that they match better with the autogen. Maybe also improve these shadowed areas. So there's definitely a lot of room for improvements, and so it's up to you. But I think for quick and dirty install, this is good enough. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you're interested in some other topics. I'm happy to look into them and to cover some of your questions in another tutorial. And so let me know what you're up to. Thanks for watching and see you next time.